Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we've got another game, another you, another me, in the right-hand corner of the map. Playing as Loki. His name is Boit! And he is taking on none other than Age of Mythology's very own man with many names. He's going by Severo today, but we know him as Keto, Severo, Bones Jones Malone. He's playing as Amaterasu. I don't know what I'm saying. I used to have his name down pat. Keto, what is it? Keto Severo Jones Bones Malone? Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Anyways, he's playing some Amaterasu for us today, but he is up against a pretty interesting god. This is a god that I think a lot of players have been putting kind of rightfully so lowish on their sort of god priority or god tier list and things like that. There's still some very, very strong parts of Loki, some strong ways to play Loki, but it does definitely depend on the matchup and the map as to whether or not you're going to be able to have a very, very nice game. Now, luckily for Bachi here, he gets himself the Amaterasu matchup, which basically means here that one of his unique bonuses, or one of the unique bonuses of Loki that is still very, very strong, will be helping out a lot here, is the bonus for your bonus damage. The bonus for your bonus damage. So specifically like the throwing axeman, getting 10% extra damage, I think it's 10%, will mean that the samurai are going to be a lot easier to take out than, say, if you're playing as Odin or Thor or something like that. So it's going to be a big help. And on top of that, there's another unit that I think is a must grab here in this matchup. I do not care in the slightest for Forseti against Japan. I think Heimdall is the correct play like 9 times out of 10. And I'm going to tell you right now that I'm not even sure if I got this one right. Maybe this is going to be a Forseti game. I can't tell you. I don't know what it was. We'll see. We're going to be finding out very, very shortly. But I definitely think that Heimdall is your better bet. And the reason is you actually want to be using your Iron Hurry on manual cast. I think this is something that everyone's getting wrong. So you have to use it on, well, at the moment it's bugged, and that's partly why I'm saying this. But the way you use this special is actually mostly to take advantage of the speed. So it's for repositioning your army or for catching your opponent's army out of position. So to help out your raiding cavalry, get onto those Yumi archers, to help those throwing axemen shoot and scoot, or either forward or back or whatever. So you're using that when you're ready to control your army, basically. And that's about it. That's my take, at the very least. But we are going to be seeing Forseti, and we are going to be seeing Amano Uzume. So I got hoodwinkled here from Bachi. He says, no, screw your Heimdall idea. We're going to go Forseti. Bugger. Let's check out the relics. Zhurang, wall regen. Over here, we have ourselves the Titan's treasure. On the bottom side of the map, there is Head of Orpheus. Bit of building line of sight. And is this bottom relic any good? The Bridle of Pegasus is obviously very, very nice for our Loki player. And all the good stuff that comes from that. So, I guess the question is, what is Bachi going to serve up here? He's got to defend his base against these weasels. So he's already doing a good job of it. House next to the tower. Temple probably could have been a little bit further forward, but he wants it to be nice and safe underneath the town center. Fair enough. You can drop a building here, put another house over here, and be very much defended on this gold mine. A wall up the back there could be a nice way to go. He's dropping a long house onto this side, though, first and foremost. As the first Kamalatachi comes in, a dojo gets dropped down, and Keto is off to the races. So the thing about the Norse matchup from Amaterasu's side and from most of the other side as well is the building, I think, that is the most important is actually the guardhouse, which is normally not the case. Normally, some matchups, the dojo might be the most important building. Some matchups, the stable might be the most important building. But in this matchup, I think the guardhouse is the most important building. Reason is that you've got those really, really strong Yati Spearmen. You could also go for like Yumi Archers as well, which are pretty good in this matchup too, because they can snipe out those throwing axemen. There's now Eyes in the Forest to come through for Bachi. I always love this tech. It helps so much because it allows you to actually see some stuff. It allows your scouting to go through the roof. You can do things like charging off to the right side, see all of that bottom side while running around there as these villages from... Wow. Is this a town center? Surely not. The madman. The absolute madman, Keto. Why is he a madman? One, you're playing against Loki, who is very good at punishing these sorts of plays. Two, you're playing Japanese, who are not very good at defending two town center plays. And three, you're grabbing this one at like nearly 7. Probably it's going to be finishing up in about 7 minutes. Yeah. So there's so much time here for Bachi to have an advantage and push it. Not even Tsukiyomi. No, I don't think any of the Japanese gods want to go 2TC. You can react. You can in a reactive way go for 2TC, but getting your second town center up first. There's some matchups which are obviously going to be different, but getting your second town center up first with Japan does seem to be incredibly risky. Incredibly risky. Maybe with Mina Katatomi or something like that, you can go for like a village center if you really want to go for something like that, but I would recommend not playing that way. But we'll see how it's going to go here for Keto. Keto's got himself his guardhouse at the back. He's going to be making his samurai as the Hearse are going to be wandering around the map. Another guardhouse to come up. And basically, Keto just needs to play a defensive game here. I'm surprised to see him sending these samurai out. He's like maybe taking a look at this town center or something like that. So the villagers over here get sent back, taking a couple of whacks to the noggin before they pop into the town center. Good reaction there from Keto. So they can pop back over onto the goats, no problems. The Hearse are still over onto this side. Spy getting dropped onto the samurai here as this villager will it get taken out. No, couldn't get that body block, unfortunately. Now, they also do have the advantage of having 5.3 speed here, so there's nothing in Keto's arsenal that can really chase them down, except for this Yati Spearman, apparently. I guess the Kitsune can, but yeah, you just turn around and whack that a couple of times and then get out of here. Loses that Hearse for it, but not the end of the world. See, Armory now comes up, and has he spotted? He has spotted the town center. Okay. He has spotted it. So he knows exactly what is happening here. I think the reason why Keto's doing this is he's got an elephant on the town center. He's got a back gold mine, and this food here. Everything shouts at you from like a Age of Mythology Fundamentals perspective that this town center is insanely good. So if there is a time for this to work out, it's going to be on this map in this position. Bachi now goes, all right, we'll grab the town center on the back here. So it's not going to be a crazy all-in from Bachi, but I don't know if Keto's going to know what's coming his way. Because realistically, you can grab this town center as Loki, and you can go Heroic Age here. And you can go Heroic Age here. Which basically just puts the Amaterasu player in this like really weird place. Oh, he's going to get the scout off though. He does get the scout off. I was going to say, it's going to put this Amaterasu player in a really weird place where he's not exactly sure what's coming for him. But now he sees the town center and can be a little bit more like, okay with what's going on. He can move around the map a little more. He can be a little more aggressive or something like that, and it should be fine. Obviously, still have to be careful playing against Loki because he can just pop your army in one sweep. One foul blow. Smack! Can be out of there. Have a little look-see at the upgrades and see what's happening here. As the armory upgrades haven't been grabbed from Barchi. On the other side, they haven't been grabbed from Kido either. To the main base, these units coming through going to take out this sentry tower. I like that because this sentry tower is actually providing a lot of nice vision for Kido. Once this falls, you sort of see what I mean. I think he'll only be able to see out till about here, which does give a big way through. You can kind of get through over this way and sneak in on this, no problems. If he wants to. Anyways, Bragi on the way, and I guess on the other side of this coin here is Kido kind of doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to go heroic age. He doesn't have to go for a third town center. He doesn't have to attack. He has the villager advantage, and he doesn't need to, like, in going to the heroic age, he loses a little bit of that villager advantage, right? But he can just sort of sit back, play defense, mass up to 190 pop, get all his armory upgrades, and just play super slow here. And I don't think Barchi's really got anything that he can really do here. But we'll see if that's going to be the play here from Kido. He might get a little bit scared about what's going on. He's got a lot of favor in the bank as well. Now, your opponent's got a whole bunch of her, so you might not want to build those weasels. Those Kama Itachi. But one villager gets spotted, goes down. Falls over onto this side, coming back up as well. I guess what Barchi will want to do is try and get somewhat... What? Units coming down to the bottom here as this villager is going to be getting taken out as well. Every little bit of raid series is going to be clawing Barchi's way back into this game now as well. So we do have to be very careful with those. And we do see a hill fort. And the question, this hill fort is looking like a defensive idea. So Barchi might just be playing for like somewhat of a late game. Thank you for the 13 months, Fortescue. Appreciate you, my friend. You legend. But yeah, with the hill fort up at the back, this is not looking like there's going to be any sort of crazy attack. Another hill fort going down. Now, this is the type of play that I expect versus Japan. Lots and lots of building defensive ideas here. Like, there's not... Unless you're going for, like, a crazy attack, which I kind of felt was on the cards here from Barchi. But unless you're doing that, like, playing this very, very heavily defensive game seems to be very important. The dock in the middle is the Loch Ness Monster just hanging out here, eyes twitching around. You ever spend any time actually watching this Kraken? He's kind of cool. He's kind of cool. We've got another hill fort coming up for Barchi. And part of this is, it's twofold, right? On the one hand, he's securing his map. On the other hand, he's giving himself access to Huskal in the blink of an eye. You can get a whole bunch of them out if he sees all of these Yumi archers. Well, he does see all the Yumi archers, so he might want to be going for them. I guess the other point here is Yumi archers don't have any pushing power. They're like an ultimate defender type unit as that Raijin is coming through. They're an ultimate defender. So in that regard, Barchi can just sit back and just keep on massing these buildings up and then look to go for Mythic Age and look to go for like Ballaster and something like that. Makes a lot of sense. Stone Wall's going to be coming in. I see this in the chat. Kido is pop blocked. He could unironically just delete a Yumi Archie here. There's no real problem with that. Like, you could just slowly delete your units and pop out the villages in replace. Grabbing himself his third town center over onto the right as Kido's army looking like he wants a fight. He should be waiting for this Raijin because the Thunderdome is a nice little counter for flaming weapons as well. But both god powers kind of make you not want to use your god power, so to speak. So it's almost like neither player will have access to a heroic age god power. It's Kido wandering through here. Stone gates going down, and Bachi's still saying nope, not just yet. A whole bunch of battle ball getting queued up. Love that. As we've also got that Hanya mask to come in, a whole bunch of samurai as well. The Kraken. The Kraken's too strong. Kido actually needing to grab himself this ballistics technology as his army charges forward here. A couple of longboats as well to come through, and they're going to be a nice little bit of a tank here. You don't see that all too often. They're obviously not very strong against the land units, but they're an amazing tank. As Bachi comes forward, there's that flaming weapons. There's the Thunderdome coming through. Going to be sending those units flying as Bachi now has to disengage. Like I said, you don't want to be using these god powers. You should hold them. Or at least spread your army out if you're the Norse player to get full value out of at least half of your army. But now the heavy upgrades are through for Kido as he's up to Bushido tier 3. He's going to have to pull back though now as he's overstayed just a little bit. He doesn't have anywhere to run back to though. There's no fortress here. You see one of these Raiju to come in. You can get that special onto the throw and axeman. It will be huge, but not able to do so as the army charges forward here, feeling like he's got a big advantage as the solar shield actually coming down onto the Kamatachi there instead of that Raijin. Or Raiju, I should say. And Bachi sort of wins the fight, but not really. The villager differential is in favor of Bachi, ever so slightly. The units over here are pretty low HP. And we're seeing Shinobi? Hello? Building Shinobi is like building Shinobi versus Norse is like building Huskal versus Norse. The only time you want to do it is if your opponent's got a whole bunch of Godi out. And even then, you're almost going, I don't really want to build this unit. It's somewhat good for like raiding, I guess. Like you can run around here and snipe a hill fort or something like that. Shinobi counter throw and axeman? Not really. Of course, if the Shinobi get on top of the throw and axeman without the throwing axeman doing any damage before the fight starts, which is not going to happen very often, then sure. But at this point, Bachi has caught Kido out of position. The battle ball mass is absolutely gigantic. Those portal rams getting some real damage done as those Shinobi coming forward. You can see a little bit of a miscontrol there from Kido as well as they all die before getting any significant damage done here. Town center goes down. A nice ironry spawn here as well. And giving a tiny boost in before it does end up falling. But these bushy here, there's a lot of heroes actually in for our main man Kido at the moment, as Bachi really does need to be getting himself some of those Huskal out as the Shinobi coming through. I'm saying this is a little bit, yeah, I think Kido just doesn't know. He's somewhat new to the Japanese as he did miss launch and he's only kind of just come back maybe like a month or a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how long he's been playing for. But you want to be basically manually activating the Shinobi out of range of the throwing axeman. So, or out of range of whatever you want to be attacking. Such that you get the 7 speed to charge in and then be on the opponent very, very quickly. There's a whole bunch more Ondomusha. Bushi coming through. Mythic Age is in for Bachi now as well. He's going to have a Nidhogg, which is an amazing answer for Yumi Archers. Up onto the top here as well. Kido trying to grab this town center. There's a cheeky longhouse here. Does he actually see this? He does. This is exactly what's going on. Build some berserks. Have at it. So Nidhogg does get called in over here just to be like, okay, I'll get my one dude involved. Deny that town center. Continuing to push through onto this spot as the hero army looking incredibly powerful for Kido, but Bachi doesn't need to attack here. He can actually rotate and attack the main base where there's no castle. But he's feeling like with a whole bunch of those portable ramps, he's got enough stuff to kind of break through this. The Fire Giant helping out. This is like majority bushy in this back line, which is going to be able to deal with all those myth units very, very quickly. That's a Nidhogg coming over, trying to take a couple of commoners out, but does get sent packing there as well as the castle does finally end up going down. As now the Huskal can get in onto this back line. A Draugr spawn not going to be that helpful here. And Kido's army does seem to be falling here. The Raiju falling, everything else going down. The portable rams now slowly starting to knock down the town center on this right side. But what else can Kido do at the moment? He's down on pop. He's trying to pump all these units out. One thing that I've noticed from Japan as well is you do need a lot of military buildings. But Kido not able to hang into here after all is said and done. I thought the second town center was going to be a lot worse than it actually was. I think this game might have just been lost on some like mid-game army positioning and well-placed attacks from the side of Bachi here. Of course, if Kido was in the right spot, the game just continues along, and then Bachi looks for somewhere else to attack until either he cracks or Kido gets everything defended and he can start moving to the next part of the game. But a well-played game from Bachi. He's showing off this Loki in a really, really positive light here. This felt really strong, really solid, and a well-played game here for Bachi. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you hit the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.